Okay, this is the notes for 6-3. The same stuff here is the same stuff you did on 6-2. We're now going to be using the new calculator, the Inspire, super easy. You can look at this for our vertex a couple of ways. If it's in vertex form, we know it's the x value will be opposite of what's inside the parentheses, which in this case is a +1, and exactly what's outside, which is a -4. Now let's say we didn't know that. We simply go in, we graph it in our calculator, and there's two ways to find it in our calculator as well. I always like to hit and start fresh on absolutely every problem. So I hit the on button, and then I hit number 1 for new, and then I always hit no, don't save, and we're adding a graph. In this case, I just type in what's after the equal sign, so it's 3, parenthesis, x minus 1, close it, squared, minus 4. Hit enter, and I can see my graph is opening up. So my vertex, which is the turning point, is the very lowest of my graph, which we know is a minimum value. It's the minimum of my graph. So I hit find that by going menu, number 6, analyze graph, choosing minimum number 2. I have my little dotted line, I click it and I roll it, and it tells me my vertex, that turning point, is 1, -4, which is what we put. Put that right in the middle of our table, and then we count backwards, 0, -1, count forward 2, 3. Now, to get to my table, Control T, which is another way I could have found it, is by looking at my Y values, and I'm looking for any repeats in the Y. And I start looking, and I see right off the bat here, there's some repeats, a -1, -1, 8, 8. So that guy in the middle must be my turning point, my vertex. So sure enough, that's what we chose as well. We write down the Y values for -1 is 8, so that means this one has to be 8. 0 is -1, so this has to be -1. Then we just go plot it on the graph. We go over -1 up 8, that's 2 from the top, over 0 down 1, over 1 down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it just mirrors itself from there. So that would be my graph. Okay, moving on to the next one. If you put it in just like it looks, it's going to give you an error, and that's because there's an X outside the parentheses. So it doesn't understand that we're saying 3x times this. So we can make an easy adjustment by simply putting that 3x in parentheses. And then our calculator kind of tricks our calculator. Again, I like to start fresh. I hit the on button, I hit new, number 1, no, and number 2, add a graph. Type it in, parentheses, 3x, close them, open them, x plus 2, close them, hit enter. And I see my graph again is opening up. So that is another one where it's the minimum. To find the minimum, we hit menu, analyze graph, and minimum. Because it's opening up, it is the lowest point of my graph. If it was opening down, it would be the highest point, which would be a maximum. So I see here my vertex is -1, 3. I'm sorry, -1, -3. Put that into the middle of my table, count backwards, -2, -3, count forward, 0 and 1. To get to my table, Control T, and I arrow up to -3, and it's 9. And sure enough, 1 is also 9, 2 is 0, 0 is 0. So go over -3, 1, 2, 3, up 9, that's 1 from the top. Over -2, 0. Over -1, down 1, 2, 3, and then it repeats itself on the other side. It's a mirror image. And there's my rough sketch of my graph. Sorry. Oh, my bad. This is a coordinate. Flip it. Same thing on the back. Okay, ignore the instructions at top. All you have to do is put it in your calculator. Because it has a lead negative, we know this one's going to actually open down, or it should. Hit the on button, number 1 for new, no, add a graph, type it in exactly like it looks, -x squared minus 2x plus 8, hit enter. there. Sure enough, it opens down. It's off my graph, so I can't see it. So I need to zoom out. So I hit menu, number 4, window, zoom, out, and hit it one time. Click it one time. Now I can see it. That is clearly the highest point of my graph. That turning point is way up here. So that would be a maximum. So I go menu, 6 again for analyze graph, maximum, click it, roll it, and it tells me that my vertex is -1, 9. -1, 9. Put that right in the middle, -1, 9. Go down 1, that's -2. On my x's, down 1, -3. Up 1 is 0. Up 1 is 1. To get to my table, again, Control T. And I want to go up to -3. And it says 5. And 2, -2 is 8. So we're 8 and 5 here. I go plot it over 1, 2, 3. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put a point. Over -2, up 8. That's 2 from the top. Put a point. Over -1, up 9. That's 1 from the top. And then it's a mirror image of itself. Opening down. Okay? And you do the same thing for the last one. So we start fresh. On button. New. No. Add a graph. Type it in to x squared plus 8x plus 6. Enter. This one's opening up, so it's a minimum. Menu. Analyze. Minimum. Click it, roll it, and it says -2, -2. Take that, put it right in the middle. Count backwards, -3, -4. Count forward, -1 and 0. Control T to get to my table. And I go to -4, which is 6. So this must be 6. -3 is 0, so it must be 0. So I go over 1, 2, 3, 4, up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put a point. Over -3, 0. Put a point. Over -2, down 2. Put a point, and then it's a mirror image of itself. We did problems A, 6-3. We did numbers 1, 3, 5, and 6. This concludes the notes for 6-3.